What's up, guys? So in this video, we're going to be going over events. We're going to be talking about what events are, and we're going to be looking at a few examples of events as well. Now, events in Solidity are basically the same as events in any other programming language. But before we get into that, if you're new to this channel, my name is Dro, and I'm here to facilitate your journey on becoming a blockchain developer. So if you can appreciate that, and if you gain something from this content, go ahead and hit that like button as well as that subscribe button, and also leave any comments in the comment section if you have anything to comment about the video. All right, so what exactly are events? Now, events are a way for us to log data that happens within the execution of our function. So let's just look at a simple breakdown of what exactly is going on under the hood. So you have the Ethereum virtual machine, or the EVM. Now we deploy our smart contract onto the EVM. Now this smart contract needs a user interface, some type of application or decentralized application in which the user can interact with it. And from there, you have either user's phone or a desktop, a laptop, whatever device you're using to connect to that application or decentralized application. So the Ethereum virtual machine has a part in its data structure in which we could log different events. So for every function that we call, essentially, we could log different instances of this function. So these logging points have different log events that are posted on the blockchain, and we can actually go back in chronological order and look at the different sequence of these events. So for instance, let's look at a current cryptocurrency like USDT. So let's say you want to look at the blockchain of USDT. Now USDT is built onto the Ethereum blockchain, and essentially you could use events to look at the transfer of tokens of USDT up until its inception point. So the cool thing about blockchain is the fact that tether can actually be tracked. So we can actually see on the blockchain where the tether is being sent to, at what time it's being sent to, how much it's being sent to. All of these different data points are saved on the blockchain. All it really takes is for somebody to do their due diligence and actually go on the blockchain on a block explorer and follow the money. But the cool thing about events is the fact that you can actually program your smart contract to send you notifications of when a particular amount of USDT is being sent, or a particular address is sending it, or at a specific time. So that's the cool thing about events, and that's basically one of the applications that using events allows us as developers to take advantage of. So being able to search through event logs to see what users have done on the blockchain is one of the benefits that we have here in the Web3 space. However, if you are a developer, you can actually take things a step further rather than being just, an average user that hops on Etherscan or one of these block explorers and does their research. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some code. So I'm gonna go and open up Remix. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by creating a contract called event example, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to be looking at an example of how to use events. So from here, I'm going to declare just one state variable, and this variable is going to be public, and I'm going to assign a value of 0. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and declare an event, and I'm going to call this event multiply. Now, in order to use an event, it actually requires a two-step process. So the first part of the process is actually declaring an event and assigning it a name. And then the second process is assigning it parameters that can be of various different data types. So we're going to be assigning our parameters address, and I'm going to be declaring it index owner. Now, you may have never used index before, but index is basically just a keyword that allows outside users to listen to a specific event rather than listening to the whole thing. So the keyword index is necessary, especially when you are calling multiple events in your smart contract. Now, in our contract, we're only going to be calling one event. But I just wanted to show you this because if you are calling multiple events, you do want to go ahead and create an index for your events. One point to make, though, is the fact that when creating an index, the EVM is actually going to charge you for creating that index. So just keep that in mind. And also, one single event can only be indexed for 3 different parameters. So for instance, right here, we have address index owner. So that is 1 parameter. The EVM is essentially only allowing us for 2 more parameters to be indexed. Now, the arguments that are being indexed by Ethereum nodes, which essentially means that we can query events that have been indexed in the past. So for instance, if I call this event and I also have a friend that calls the same event at a different point in time, we can actually query the events and go back into the blockchain and look at who called what event at what time. So up until this point, only the event has been defined. So let's go ahead and talk about emitting the event. So first, we're going to create a function, and our function is going to be called getValue. Now this value, or this function, I should say, it's going to have 2 different parameters, an unsigned integer x and an unsigned integer y. And we're going to declare this function public. And so now we could go ahead and talk about emit. So you do declare an event, but then in order to execute the event, you actually have to call it, which you use emit to go ahead and do. Now, emit must be located within the function for it to work. So I'm going to emit the event multiply, and I'm going to declare message.sender. Now for my value, I am going to create an equation, very simple equation of just x times y. So when someone deploys this contract, they are going to have the ability to select a value for x, select a value for y. The output is going to be the product of x and y. But the reason that Solidity knows to multiply both of these 2 numbers is because I went ahead and created an event, and then I emitted that event, which created the equation for value. So let's go ahead and deploy this contract. So as you can see, I can put 25 for X, and then I could put 4 for Y. Go ahead and initiate or execute the transaction. And now I want to get my value. And as you can see, the output is 100. So one of the main benefits that comes with using events is the fact that events allow us for a cheaper alternative for storing storage variables. Now, if you don't know what storage variables are, or maybe you need a refresher, go ahead and hit this link where it'll take you to a video that I made talking about storage, call data, memory, as well as stack, all the different data locations that Solidity has to offer us. So if you don't need access to your variable, you should definitely consider logging it as an event so that you don't get charged the high gas fees that are required to store variables in storage. Just keep in mind, when logging these events, you will not be able to retrieve this data later on at another point in time using your smart contract. That's very important. So guys, I hope you got a clear understanding as to what events are. Remember, events are very similar to, let's say, subscribing on YouTube. It only works one way. So for instance, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and I release a new video and you hit that push notification bell, you're going to get a notification that one of my videos was just released. Now keep in mind, this is a one-way street. I'm not going to get any information from you, but you are going to get information from an event that just happened, which is the deployment of my video. Which, speaking about subscriptions, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do that now. And also leave any comments about logging events, anything that you've learned through your past experiences, or if you're a newbie and this information was helpful to you. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next video.